Y'all ready? We ready. Let's go.
Step in the ring, feel the adrenaline rush, going fist to kicks, the pain we can't hush. And then they find us, we're the real tough guys, breaking down barriers, we aim for the skies. Into the octagon, like a warrior I stand, trading blows, taking hits as I command. The art of combat, I'm ready to go. Submission, knockout, that's how I flow.
It's okay if you don't mute it, dear.
Like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released.
Saw you reach over and mute that at the bottom.
Golden
All right.
Octagon, the stage we ignite.
Yeah. Just banging my imaginary drums right now.
Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling like a golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
And we are live. Welcome to the Golden Octagon
muted.
MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D Rose.
And what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt, and D Rose is right there. What a lovely, beautiful man that is. Yeah. So, I was banging my imaginary drums, as you guys heard, just rocking out to the intro this week, D Rose. Trying to keep a high spirit right now. I've been up since about 7 a.m. this morning, and I flew from Virginia to Texas, and I gained an hour back. So, yeah, man, it was freezing there. I know you're still cold down there in that basement, unless you've had that heat on the whole time. I was at D Rose this past weekend. If y'all saw the live stream Fight Companion this past week, that was fun. But welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. If you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button, because on today's show, me and D Rose are going to... Where's it at? We are going to recap UFC 324 from this past weekend. We've got some UFC news and fight announcements to go over. And then, of course, we're going to go over, make our picks, preview, prediction for this upcoming weekend's fights. UFC 325, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. But before we get into all that, D-Rose, how you been, dude? I haven't seen you since Sunday, but, I mean, you can let the people know, all the cool things that we did this past weekend that they didn't get to see on camera. I mean, it may be on camera somewhere, but I mean, I don't know. What's up, man?
No, everything's been great over here. We've been going through this BS snow, man.
Dude, it's cold as dude, it's so fucking cold. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
It's been really cold. We've been kind of complaining here recently how, we haven't been getting your traditional winters and, your traditional snows and stuff like that. Well, we got plenty of snow, but not your traditional snow because, of course, I'd say we probably got, probably about a good, 6-7 inches. Nothing too crazy.
I would say 4 inches of snow and then like a solid ½ inch of ice, dude.
But that's the big thing is that it's nothing but a sheet of ice, and literally in my yard is a pile of snow with a sheet of ice over it, and none of the ice is cracked, even though we've stepped in the yard because that's how solid the ice is. So we got
I know.
pretty much we got pretty much a full skating rink outside in our yard. It's crazy,
dude. My grandparents' full front yard is just like a hill, dude. And if you take one step off that sidewalk, dude, get ready to go sliding down that hill, dude, because it's like, dude, I think up there, like on the mountain, it was like -7, -9 for the past few days, dude. It's so cold up there. Like, I don't like. Thankfully, they have like a deep well that's not going to freeze or anything like that. But they have like a fireplace and like a wood stove, so they're solid. But yeah, dude, being in town, imagine losing power then, dude. That would be terrifying.
Yeah, no, I've seen some not footage, but I've seen some photos of some people's driveway up at Smith Mountain Lake up here. And there was one, it was a beautiful driveway. And it's a gravel driveway, but it's literally a hill that kind of has like a figure 8 type body to it going out of it. And it's on a hill, and it was nothing. It was literally just a sheet of ice going down. I was like, yeah, those people can go ahead and pack it up for a couple of days, because unless somebody comes through with the blowtorch, they're not getting out of that house at all.
Dude, I didn't even get to see my brother because apparently the snow plow plowed his car in, and then it was just like frozen over, and then he couldn't get out. So I didn't even get to see my brother while I was there, dude. I was there 5 days. Didn't even get to see him, man, because it was just snow. But I was at your house for Saturday night, all of a Sunday, and I left Monday morning, dude. So we got to watch some fights and some football.
Yeah. It was good. And yeah, just to answer, Antoine's question there. Yes, I was shoveling the driveway plenty. Had to do it 2 days in a row. Had to do it on Sunday a little bit just to clear everything up, and then had to do it on Monday just to go ahead and get the rest of it. But you'd be surprised, but my driveway is absolutely clear, except for I kind of piled it up there at the bottom of kind of behind where I park my car normally. But other than that, my whole driveway is absolutely clear, and so is my walkway. So that's the main thing.
Yeah, man. And shout out the chat real quick. We got Antoine in here. We got Jeff in here letting us know how cold Chicago was this past weekend. We got Skonks in here. What's going on, Skonks? How you doing? Antoine says, yeah, hair is getting long. Antoine, my goal is to try to donate it to the kids. Once it gets to a certain length, dude, because I got a lot of hair, and it could probably make so many wigs. So I'm going to donate it to the kids that need it, because I'm going to be a good person. Hopefully they don't, drug test that child, because then they will be in trouble. But anyway, with that being said, have you been shoveling? Yeah, that's what you're just talking about. Yeah. Wow. What a fun time that was, D Rose. But I guess with that being said, let's go ahead and recap the fights from this past weekend. We're going to do it a little different this week. Let's start at the early prelims, just because we got quite a bit that we can kind of just talk about, go over. We can just run it like that. So this past, man, don't do this to me. There we go. Early prelims. Okay. Is it just not going to give them to me now?
Well, they lost a couple fights, so.
Well, they were just there, and then now they're gone. Like, I saw them like a few minutes ago. I just refreshed the page, see if it works. Anyway, this past weekend, UFC 324. There we go. Yeah, we had some fun things happen on the early prelims, but I did want to talk about this right here. The I guess the news that came, and then now why did Google do that? They just took them away again, dude. Anyway. This past weekend, the Michael Johnson versus Alexander Hernandez fight ended up getting pulled because there was some suspicious betting activity, but it came out probably, this is what I heard now, D-Rose. It came out probably like 48 hours before the fight that Alexander Hernandez was hurt, right? And they started looking for replacements for Michael Johnson. However, Alexander somehow convinced UFC to go ahead and let him fight. And after that happened, I guess the information got leaked, and there was a lot of betting activity on Michael Johnson. So I guess it wasn't a rigged fight, but some leaked information got out that Alexander Hernandez was about to fight while having having an injury that would stop him from winning said fight. So I understand the betting movement, but I'm glad UFC did this. Can I get your thoughts and opinion on that real quick, D-Rose, before we really get started into the card?
Yeah, it was, kind of surprising to hear, because I had been keeping up with the lines a little bit, but I didn't really play too much until like fight day, just in terms of bets. But I'd even mentioned to you, I believe the day before, I was like, man, Michael Johnson is. I was like, this fight is even money, and I was like, it was minus 108 apiece, and I remember at one point, Michael Johnson was like a plus 180. So I was like, man, that line kind of jumped down pretty quick within a short amount of time. And then, um, you know, we were messaging each other Saturday, and I had mentioned that to you, and then you sent me that screenshot about how they had pulled the fight, and hearing Dana talk about it as well, he said, hey, the gambling authority, basically hit him up and said, hey, there's some suspicious activity going on with this betting line. Dana said, we're not going to do this again, and pulled it. And honestly, I like Dana's answer at the press conference the other day when he was asked about it, because he said it as flatly as that. They just got hit up, didn't want to go through that part, and just pulled the fight. And the thing I think that's going to be the weirdest though is is Alexander Hernandez going to be able to fight in the UFC again? Is this something that is a one-time thing? Or is this going to be now that this information's came out, is he going to receive a ban? You don't know.
Yeah, probably not, because the fight didn't happen. That's my guess. Like, it's two UFC vets here. Like, so it's not like they needed the money. Like, it wasn't like they were throwing the fight,
No, not that he threw the fight, but just the fact that there's heat like this around a fight.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I get it.
So
yeah, I get it.
The fight didn't go through completely, but just the fact that there's even something like this, the UFC doesn't want to be associated with this whatsoever. So, I'm curious to see what they do with Alexander Hernandez after this.
That's fair, man. And then the other big news before the fights happened this past weekend was Cameron Smotherman face planting after he stepped off the scale, man. That was a scary scene, to be honest, but apparently now he's all right. He had to get a couple of stitches, but aside from that, he said that he's all good to go. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I had sent you the message, the day it happened, because I was able to. I wasn't watching the weigh-ins live, but I was kind of able to still, kind of check in periodically and kind of see what was going on. And I saw that clip going around. It immediately terrified me, because that's the first time I'd ever seen that, and even I didn't see the video before, obviously seeing the headline that, hey, he fell. But even I would think that even if you didn't know that going into watching Smotherman get on the scale, like when he got on the scale, like he did not look great at all. Like he looked like he was about to pass out on the scale. And he started kind of walking away when most of the time, they're like, hey, stand back and take a picture. He just, as soon as they told him, he made weight, he just got off, walked away, passed out, and thank goodness he's okay now. And I guess there's going to be more to come from this, I guess, according to his post the other day. But yeah, scary moment. And yeah, hopefully, some news comes out about what happened. So, they kind of know what to do with them. But yeah, thankful to see that he's actually doing pretty well.
Indeed, man. So we have Adam Fugit getting knocked out by Ty Miller in the first round, dude. Adam Fugit, 38 years old now. Slow as all hell, was trying to clinch up a little bit with Ty Miller, but dude, Ty Miller's got some hands on him. He's got some power, dude. Still a young guy, 7-0 now. What's your thoughts on the first round knockout, man?
Yeah, Miller's clean. Good striking, good range management. He had pretty good takedown defense, and Adam Fugit is not the best takedown artist in the world, but he was able to kind of defend those grappling positions that Fugit kind of thrives in, and man, really put on the pressure there to get the finish, because at first I was like, man, Fugit's really eating these punches. He might be able to get out of this first round, but yeah, Ty Miller put it on there. Fight might have got stopped a little bit late, but 1 second
left in the round.
Yeah, and honestly, it probably could have gotten stopped about 30 seconds before, because he was whomping Fugit there at the end, but hell of a win for Ty Miller.
Yeah. See what y'all are saying real quick. Matt, did you ever collapse from exhaustion in the middle? No, man. I did not. Well, what's going on, Austin? How you doing? And Antoine saying, what's up to Austin? You guys saw the bonuses are 100,000 now. Yeah. And you get 25,000 for a finish, no matter what. So, these guys are going out there for finishes like they were this past weekend. There's a lot of finishes this past weekend. Like the one that we want to talk about next, the main event of the early prelims was the incredible Hoke. Josh Hokett. He's on our thumbnail this week, spanking Denzel Freeman there all the way at the kind of like the middle of the screen at the bottom, D-Rose. Did you know that Denzel Freeman did not land one significant strike in that entire fight? I don't think he threw a punch, dude. Josh Hokett basically just picked him up, threw him down over and over again, toyed with Denzel Freeman, if you will. And then at the end of the fight, Josh Hokett throws a high kick to Denzel Freeman's shoulder. Denzel Freeman is so gassed that there's like 2 seconds left in the fight. Josh Hokett flicks the middle finger, and Mark Smith's like, whoa, that's enough. I've seen all I need to see. That middle finger was the last straw. But in reality, Denzel Freeman at that point was just sitting on the ground with 1 second left. And Mark Smith had just fucking seen enough, dude. He's like, this dude isn't even defending it. Like, he literally did nothing the entire fight, dude. Is Denzel Freeman the worst fighter on the roster right now?
Bottom 5 for sure.
Dude, he's ass.
I'd had to get a list of all of them, but
he won his debut against somebody, dude. Like, that's probably like that other dude's probably like the bottom 3.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So but no, I thought it was a good win for Josh Hokett. He came out there, it's smothering pressure. Was able to get right on Denzel Freeman. I thought Denzel Freeman had some pretty decent wrestling, but yeah, Josh Hokett threw him around like a rag doll and, pretty much did whatever he wanted to do in that fight.
Spanked him.
And, literally spanked him, flicked him off, kicked him in the shoulder. Like, he did. Dude literally did whatever he wanted. And yeah, I think, he was like a minus 225 or something like that. I think, until he gets like a level up and matchmaking, yeah, I think Josh Hokett is going to be he's going to be a pretty decent. He's going to be minus 300 and above, from here on out for the rest of his fights, man. He's I know he's got the character and all that stuff, and people can think about whatever, but man, he's a talented fighter.
Dude, his post-fight interview, like you can tell that he he has it ready to go, dude. But it's he cracks me up, dude. He's so dumb. He's like, I want to call out the deadbeat dad to not 1 but 9 kids. Waldo Cortez Acosta. Like, he's not getting that fight. Like, let's be real, but. Good call out though, just like he called out fucking Walter Walker last time. Like, he didn't get the fight. Like they're gonna kind of move him up the ranks a little bit, maybe until he's probably 12-0, before he gets probably someone in the top 5, dude. But yeah, Josh Hokett's fun. What's your thoughts on his interviews, post-fight antics? And I guess part of his interview this past weekend, I didn't even hear it, to be honest, but now I'm seeing clips. But I guess a lot of white people are mad that he said N-word, please. That's what he said in his post-fight interview. He didn't say the word. He just said N-word, please. And a whole bunch of white people are so upset. You can't say that. He's like, say what?
Yeah, he it is a little corny in my book,
Yeah.
but you know what? But the name of the game is kind of selling yourself, whether you're being the kind of lovable baby face that everybody wants to get around, or the evil heel that everybody wants to go against. And basically any motion is better than no motion, in terms of the reaction that he gets. So he's doing what he's supposed to do and getting himself out there. It's just not necessarily my taste. So I'm just going to be one that doesn't really, I'm not saying it's not authentic, but some of the lines hit, some of the lines don't. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like one of those, it's kind of like a 50-50 type thing, but
I got you.
Yeah, he's fine.
He at least knows what to say to get the headlines, dude, or like to have the clips, because he was on Ariel show like the other day, and he's like, I got Waldo Cortez's baby here, like, right, and then like he said something like, he's like, I'm sorry, your dad doesn't want you. Like, it was like a little like a little fucking baby doll. But it was like, like a little, like a brown doll. And he was like, but it's okay. Michael Chandler will still adopt you. And he set it down, dude. I was like, dude, he is like, he's this line that he's on, dude, is like, dude, it catches your attention, dude. That's what it does. You're like, he's getting real close there. So I see the character that he's playing, dude, and it's for sure grabbing some headlines because, he just like not this fight, but like the last fight, he was, calling the NFL like a whole bunch of like fucking sissies and shit. Yeah, it's like he's a headline getter, a clip farmer, if you will. But we can move or anything on that one, or do you want to move to the regular prelims real quick and we'll run through them?
Let's keep it moving.
All right. Yeah. So for me, Alex Perez, Charles Johnson, dude, I lost all my money on this fight for the most part. Charles Johnson, never been finished, and all of a sudden gets knocked out by Alex Perez in the first round. Yeah, dude, me and you both are just pissed off when this happens, dude. Me and you are just like fucking looking at each other. Like, I don't know if I had one bet that Charles Johnson wasn't in, So that being said, I was a little sad. I had to chase a little bit. Wasn't happy, but I guess what's your thoughts on old Energy Johnson getting finished for the first time?
Yeah, I had 3 bets early, and all 3 of them had him in them. So then I had to make a couple bets after the fact to chase. But man, that and I said it again. Alex Perez, he's so up and down, and we had kind of made the joke that we were kind of picking on each other, saying that after that Mateus Nicolau fight, we were like, hey, maybe he's back. And then he goes on this losing streak again. And then we're like, yeah, maybe he's not back. And then he has a performance like this, and you're like, well, maybe he's back. But
he blatantly cheated, though. Fucking was like the second one on the scale, and like I fucking missed by like 2.5 pounds. Like, you have 2 more hours, dude.
No, he does have to make weight. That was one thing I was going to mention, that he had to get under control. I did hear him talk after the fight, and he said that he approached Charles Johnson about it. And I guess him and Charles Johnson have trained in the past, and Charles Johnson ended up being cool with it or whatever. But but yeah, so I'd say, I guess all's fair. I guess as long as Charles Johnson thought so. And for Alex Perez to lump Charles Johnson up like that, man, that was crazy to see, because again, you do not see Charles Johnson get hurt like that, man. So kudos to Alex Perez for being able to put him out the way he did.
Yeah, moving on up, Nikita Krylov, Modestas Bukauskas. Fight was ass, but Nikita Krylov gets the 3rd round knockout. Anything there?
No, just I guess a good comeback win for Krylov, because I thought that he was getting served up to get KO'd. So it was a last second KO, but pretty good KO to cap off a boring fight.
Yeah. And Atiba Gaudier, Andre Pulaev, dude. Atiba Gaudier dropped Andre Pulaev with like his first 5 punches, dude. Like the first 5 punches that he threw, Pulaev was on the ground. I was like, oh, this ain't going out of the first round. He's hurting him every single punch. Dude, this fight goes to decision. I think it was minus 1,000 to not go the distance, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you know what though? I like that Gautier ended up going to decision, man, because he kind of needed somebody to, kind of push him, past that limit in the first round to see, what he would kind of look like later on. And I saw a lot of people, they had a lot of criticism for Gautier saying that, oh, well, he looked green and yada yada, and oh, he wasn't able to finish him. But when was the fight ever in doubt? I guess that's my point. And
Yeah.
Puliev, he's super tough, and he landed a couple of decent shots at moments, but Gautier was always able to land the bigger shot and have the bigger moment in each round, and landed more. Just from my estimation, I didn't see the strike count, but just from watching the fight, it looked like Gautier landed more. I like that he was kind of pushed a little bit. Got pushed a little bit, win 3 rounds. And again, just like I said last week, I'd like to see him continue getting matchups like this to kind of help him level up. He's 23 years old. Dude's got plenty of time. I don't need him getting.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Might be
yeah.
25.
That is questionable. That is questionable. But just to say that he's even 10-1, let's say that, and he's relatively young in his career. I'm not upset with types of matchups like these. Give him these types of matchups and help him kind of build.
Yeah. Moving on up, main event of the prelims, Umar Nurmagomedov and Deiveson Figueiredo, dude. Is it a hot take to say that Umar is never going to be the champ, man? After watching him do that to Figgy, that landed 8 strikes that entire fight, you did not, bro. I feel like he could have. Dude, if he had any finishing instinct, he would have finished Deiveson. And he just went in there and played touch butt with him in the park the whole time, man. I don't think Umar's that good, man. He's technical, but I don't think he has the wrestling, the control, or the finishing instinct of Islam or Khabib, dude. He might be part of the camp, but cousin Umar is not of that ilk, in my opinion. Wins the fight via decision. Dude, I don't know if they're going to give him even another title shot fighting like that, dude. What's your thoughts on this fight?
He's definitely going to have to win another fight at least, before he can try to get a title fight. And the problem is he's good at a lot of stuff, but he's not great at one thing. Like I would say his best weapon is when he's standing in that southpaw, that front leg kick that he's got, when he can kind of take it and whip it up like a question mark kick and kind of like slap it to the face, or he can kind of teep you, stab you to the body. He's got nice leg kicks from there. That's the one weapon that he's got that kind of stands out from the rest, but it's not dangerous. Like he's not, that kick lands and it looks cool because it's kind of like, a little slap kick to the head, especially if the guy's not ready to block it the way it comes up. But Umar doesn't do anything that's super dangerous. He's not, putting guys out with this one shot punch. He doesn't have this devastating ground control to where, he's like a vice grip. As soon as you're down on the ground, he's going to snatch your neck and it's going to be no problem for him to get the submission.
Dude, even Tagir has that instinct. Like he will grab a neck. But Umar just seems to like I don't understand it, man.
Yeah. That's why I said to me, it just seems like he's good at everything, but not great at one thing. And
does he want to fight? That's what kind of what seems like. That he doesn't, like, he just kind of does it because everyone expects him to, but he really doesn't want to.
He's definitely to me, I think right now it's almost like, I don't want to say the Merab loss kind of like damaged him, but and even in the Corey Sandhagen fight, he wasn't spectacular to me in that fight, which is why I was upset why he got the title fight in the first start. But you can almost make the argument that since that Merab loss, it's almost kind of damaged his psyche to a certain extent. Like he's basically taking the path of least resistance, which I understand you're getting a win, but you're not doing yourself any favors in terms of trying to get a title shot.
Yeah, I agree. Antoine Sano, is Deiveson an all-time great maybe at 125. Like he has
Yeah.
all-time great power at 125, but not 135. And Antoine saying, "Oh, Sean's getting the fighting for the belt, 1,000%." If Merab doesn't fight next, I could see it, but I don't know. Do you think we'll ever get O'Malley versus Sandhagen? Maybe one of these days, man. Maybe one of these days. It'd be a fun fight, but as D-Rose said last week, that fight's always going to be there. I don't know. Maybe. All right, main card time, D-Rose. Bach if you're gay. Arnold Allen versus John Silva, dude. Also, surfing's gay too. That's Arnold Allen said also surfing's gay.
I'm not a surfboard.
I'm not a surfboard, mate. Yeah. John Silva wins via decision. Yeah, man, but that was another one that I've seen a few people say that this was a close fight, that they could have gone either way, and I'm like, really? Like, I didn't think so, man. I thought John Silva won that fight, and I like that Dana White said that he thought that the surfboard trick was pretty cool. That's what Dana White said. He's like, I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. What's your thoughts on Arnold Allen, John Silva?
Yeah, I will say the most impressive thing for me is that nobody is taking the bait on this John Silva, like trying to do the overly like hand touching and, you know, high fiving in the middle of the fight and stuff like that. Like basically everything that Melsey Bagdasarian did. Like you high five them like every 5 seconds. And it's like, dude, stop doing that. I like that Arnold Allen was kind of slapping the hand away when John Silva was going for those. And to me, it almost made me feel like it made John Silva lock in. You know, I mean, to me, and I didn't hear, you know, we were talking, so we didn't really necessarily hear the corner footage. But I believe I heard somebody say that Arnold Allen's corner thought he was up 2-0. And I'm like, I don't know how you could have thought that he was up 2-0 going into that third round when, I mean, to me, like, Arnold Allen was getting whomped in that second round. You know, John Silva really started to feel it. I did think that Arnold Allen won round one, and I thought this fight was a fun fight. Like, and Arnold Allen did not get blown out by any means. He definitely brought the fight to John Silva, but he just didn't have enough firepower to keep John Silva off of him. And John Silva was able to land the bigger shots, some more combos. And man, he's just so fluid with his strikes. When John Silva gets rolling, when he's going downhill, it's he's hard to stop.
Yeah, I agree, man. He's for sure a problem for the majority of the division. Another one that had some controversy, Natalia Silva, Rose Namajunas. I will die on this hill. Natalia Silva won round 1 and 3, and apparently that's what the judges thought too. But I see a lot of biased opinions saying the scorecards were already filled out before the fight started, yada, yada, yada. When is Rose in a barn burner, dude? It's like most of her fights, the first few rounds, dude, she's just looking at, you know, and it calls for the fight to be pretty boring, but Natalia Silva needs you to come forward, you know, and try to fight her to implement her style. But Rose doesn't really want to do that. So the way I personally thought it happened was Natalia Silva personally looked better, looked cleaner, landed a few more shots in the first round of impact, in my opinion. Not a lot happened in the first round. I had Rose win round 2, but Natalia Silva took over round 3. Obviously, the most action of the whole fight. That was a clear round for Natalia Silva. She just started going forward like, well, fuck, this is a close fight. I have to win this round. So, dude, I think she fights for the title next, and I think she wins, man. She's going to be your next champion at 125. What's your thoughts on the fight, man?
I mean, to me, I thought, yeah, Natalia Silva arguably could have won all 3 if it wasn't for Rose. I thought it was the first round that she had gotten the takedown in and had won that round. You said it was round 2, or
no, round 1. I think like Silva won, round 2 Rose, and then round 3, or I don't know, one of the two. It doesn't really matter.
Okay. Yeah, just because I remember Rose getting the takedown at the end of the first round and kind of got that control and was able to ride it out. So I thought Rose was able to steal that first round. And maybe I'm mixing the rounds up. Maybe that was the second round that I'm mixing it up with. I do remember it being 1-1 going into the third. But yeah, I wasn't super convinced that Rose is doing enough because to me, Rose just hasn't been doing enough in her fights in general here recently. And that's why I thought
Dude, I thought Tracy beat her. Like, I literally thought, I was like, Tracy's going to beat Rose. And then all of a sudden, Rose comes on, like, in, like, last 2 rounds, dude. Or, like, was it, like, she started fucking fading, and then, like, fucking Tracy starts to come on in the last 2. It's like, dude, like, Rose is not the same fighter that she was down at 115 for sure.
Because she's not a true flyweight. That's the problem. And the UFC made her go up to flyweight. I will stand on this hill, and I will die on this hill, that the UFC made her go up. She's not a true flyweight. And for me, I know you love me some Natalia Silva, man. I'm sorry. I think she's, her fight style is, while it is super effective and she's doing what she's got to do to win fights, she's not winning any more fans over with her style, except for her getting Dak Prescott memes made of her about her fighting style, because all she's doing is sitting there swinging her hips, but not really doing too much else. I love the meme, the Natalia Silva, when all the girls watch Natalia Silva in the gym, and everybody's just sitting there just freaking shaking their butts, because that's what it feels like. That's all it feels like it is at this point, dude. I swear. Like, I mean,
hey, man, that's why she won. She's out there shaking that thing. She got more points, dog.
Super mesmerizing for the judges. So I guess I can understand. But jeez,
how do you think Vanessa Demopoulos wins any fights?
Yeah, true. She had to do a split there at the end, and then judges, all of a sudden they start putting erasers on their scorecards.
Yeah, but Antoine says that he's gonna take Valentina to to beat her in the title fight. I could see it, but I gotta ride with my girl at this point, dude. I'm all in. Anyway, Waldo Cortez Acosta, Derek Lewis. Waldo Cortez knocks out Derek Lewis with the Anderson Silva jab. Like, I saw like a few memes, like, who did it better? It was like Anderson Silva versus Forrest Griffin, and then Waldo Cortez versus Derek Lewis. Like, same basic thing, but maybe Derek Lewis hurt his leg or something, and like at the exact same time that he got hit, and I just think Derek was done, dude. It's like, you kind of know how the fight's going to go in a Derek Lewis fight within the first 2 minutes, dude. If like he's like looking sloppy, falling all over the place, like whiffing on all of the shots, it's just not a good look for old D-Lew. And at that point, I was just like, oh, this ain't good for Derek Lewis. And the fight ended in the second round, which I guess it didn't end in the first round, but man, the WCA, he's on a run right now, dude, and it wouldn't surprise me if Tom's not ready if he don't get a interim title shot soon, man.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I think Waldo Cortez Acosta is doing as well is he's getting his name out there, and he's taking all these fights super often. How many just within the last 4 months? What is it? Is that 3 fights within 4 months?
He's took 3, yeah, because he took 2 within like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so the last 4 months he's gotten in 3 fights, man. And that's stuff that it doesn't matter what else you do. If you fight that many times and you're putting on good results each time, the fans are going to get on your side eventually, one way or the other, just because you're going to keep continuing winning fights. I felt bad for Derek Lewis. I thought maybe Derek Lewis could get, maybe one last little flurry and maybe try to make a sneaky little title run. I wouldn't be surprised if they would try to throw a name like Derek Lewis up against Alex Pereira for like Alex Pereira's, kind of like heavyweight debut or something like that. But yeah, Waldo Cortez Acosta is too slick for Derek Lewis. And yeah, WCA, man, he's making his way to the top. And I think one more win, and I think we can see him in the title shot.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Antoine saying, last time I asked, is Lewis a Hall of Famer, 2-time title challenger, most Ks of all time? Mostly because of the last part there. The two-time title challenger, that doesn't really mean anything. But most KOs of all time, I think because of that, he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Got the Black Beast.
Oh,
What about you, D-Rose?
Yeah, I think he's a Hall of Famer. Like you said, KOs alone, I think that should get in there. And plus, the UFC Hall of Fame is kind of like, hey, do we like you? And I mean, who doesn't like Derek Lewis? You know.
Yeah, man. All right. Co-main event, Sean O'Malley, Song Yadong. This is another one that a few people thought Song Yadong won. I was like, so y'all apparently thought that he won the first 2 rounds, which, I mean, just like the Natalia Silva fight, it's not like Song really pushed the pace, really. Like, it was a lot of throwing and missing from Song, and then the occasional jab from O'Malley. Not a lot happened in that first round. And then Song got the takedown and held on to him for like a minute. But you didn't do anything at all, you know? It's like you have to advance your position, land a few shots, or at least try the submission, but just laying on him, dude, does nothing. It don't do anything. So I had O'Malley winning round 1 and round 3, just like the other few fights that we've talked about. Yeah, Sugar Show maybe next for the title shot. I liked that he gave Merab the props. Like, he said, Merab deserves this title shot, but if he's not ready to go, then give it to me. I get it. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
As I'm sitting here trying
to the hand,
my camera, trying to get my camera to focus on this thing here, but no, for me, when we were watching the fight, you had told me that O'Malley was the pretty significant underdog going into the 3rd round, and that's why
plus 350.
I was like, dude, if that's the case, I'm going to place this bet right now because I was pretty confident that O'Malley won round 2. Man, my camera is going all types of crazy for some reason.
You gotta put your face close to it, and then like,
yeah, but no. So I was super surprised that O'Malley was that big of a dog going into that 3rd round. Because I thought he pretty cleanly won the 2nd round. Song had the takedown, but he didn't really do anything with it, and then O'Malley was able to get back up to the feet. And Song was pretty busted up there, at the end of that 2nd round. And he was getting busted up, pretty much the entire 2nd round, in my opinion. I thought that he was having a tough time closing the distance on Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley just wasn't really throwing that much. I did hear him after the fight mention that, how Song is, pretty dangerous counterpuncher. So O'Malley didn't want to put himself in that much danger. So that's why he was kind of holding back a little bit. But he said he went back to the corner and, Tim Welch kind of got in his ear and told him, hey, it's 1-1 going into this round. You need this round for the fight. And that kind of made him, press on the gas a little bit there in the 3rd round to, make sure he was able to secure that win. And I thought Sean did just that. And it was a good bounce back performance from him.
That's fair, man. That's fair. And then the main event of the evening, we had Justin Gaethje versus Patty, the Batty Pimblett, dude. What a fun fight, man. And if it ain't true that Scousers can't get knocked out, dude, I don't think, dude, after watching that fight, I don't know if anyone will ever legitimately knock out Patty, because that was that was kind of a beatdown, man. In not just one, I know Justin wasn't busted up, dude, but if anyone says that, like that Patty wasn't kind of knuckling up fucking Justin, they're just full of shit. They're like, now it's fine. Like they're just full of shit. They're liars, dude, because Justin could not help but leaning over to his right and eating uppercuts and hooks and even knees to the face. I don't know how fucking Justin was not cut or bruised up at the end of the fight, dude, but I think more damage was I know more damage was clearly done by Justin Gaethje, but to act like Patty wasn't in that fight at multiple times, like we're like, oh shit, like I know he didn't show it too much, but you gotta think Patty at least rung his bell a few times where he's like, oh shit, maybe let's not Let me fucking step back for a second. But dude, fun fight. Do you think Patty had a chance at all? What's your thoughts on the fight? Because me and you are just glued to the TV during this fight. What a fun fight, man! It was so hard. I mean, obviously, fucking Justin won, but trying to go back and see, and try to say who won what rounds, like and shit. Who the hell knows at this point, dude? I was just watching the fight, just having a blast.
Yeah, no, dude, awesome fight, and I mean, that's why you put this fight on as the main event of the kickoff Paramount card. I mean, because what fight have you ever gone in with Justin Gaethje and come out and say, man, that was some BS? Like,
Yeah.
Justin Gaethje will always deliver on a fight, and Patty Pimblett was willing to throw down, and another shout out to Dana's press conference. He gave Patty a shout out to say that that Patty had mentioned that he wanted to go out there and knock out Gaethje. And Dana was basically like, yeah, right. Like, you're not going to go out there and try to
tried to
with him. And yeah, no, Patty 100% tried to go out there and finish him, man. And no matter how much he got hurt, he was able to stand in there and kind of, take the pressure and, even give it back to Gaethje. And the fight went, I'm not going to say exactly how I thought it went, because I did not think, like, Gaethje, and I kept yelling it during the fight, but like Gaethje went back to like war Gaethje. Like,
yeah,
he went back to the Michael Johnson era. Like, dude, I don't care what you throw at me. I'm just walking you down and just going to completely disrespect you. And was just able to hold him up against the fence, hold the back of his head, land some good punches. We do have to mention, even though I did pick Justin Gaethje, we did have the eye poke moment. He had the two.
Dude, it does it in all of his fights, though, man. Look at the DP fight. Like, he did that a few times there too.
Yeah, no, he is bad about the eye pokes. And the crazy part is, so like the first one is actually like a little bit more I guess predictable, just because even though he did have an open palm and his fingers were up, he's putting his hand on his opponent's face. So it's like, if you're going to push off on your opponent's face, it's almost without a doubt that you're going to poke him in the eye. Now, the second one, he was actually throwing a jab, and his thumb was kind of sticking out as he was throwing the jab, and then the eye got caught from Patty, and then because Gaethje was throwing a combo, so he throws the jab and then the right hook behind it, and ends up hurting Patty after he eye pokes him. So that was unfortunate moment. I think the first one was a little bit more that you can maybe say that you could take the point from him, but I just wonder in this fight if maybe the refs were kind of told, especially in a title fight, hey, there's a couple of fouls, take the penalty or take the point. Let's not take a point off the first one just because we don't want a title fight decided in the draw.
Yeah, man. Fun fight, though. It was a blast. It wouldn't surprise me. No, here's the tough part, D-Rose. This seemed like Patty's one. This kind of seemed like his best chance at the title here, because you just look what's next. I don't think he's going to beat Arman. I don't think he would beat Ilya. And if he comes back or Arman gets the title shot, I think it's going to be a little bit before we see Patty, at least. I mean, because I think Arman and Ilya both smoke Patty. So even if he does get the title shot again, this was his best opportunity. So I don't know if we see Patty as the champion, man.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point to say this is maybe his best opportunity, but of course there's always still time. To me, I don't know if I don't know if Ilya is ever going to fight again. I would almost bank on him not fighting at this point, just based on some of the reactions that we've gotten from him. So, maybe Patty, if Arman is able to secure the title, Patty and Arman kind of have some beef, and maybe Patty can work his way in then. He's a big enough star to where he's going to get enough opportunities, but you are right to maybe say this was his best one, considering, kind of the point that Arman made after the fight. You got 38-year-old Justin Gaethje coming in on antibiotics, and this was your best chance to beat him, and you didn't win. So it's kind of tough to see him getting a better opportunity than that.
Yeah, man, I agree. So I guess let's move into our UFC news. What we got this week. As I click on Instagram, I see one that's a fun one, I guess. We got Steven Asplund taking on Vitor Petrino, dude. What's your thoughts on this absolute banger of a fight right here?
Yeah, I'm with you. That's actually a really good fight. What I'm curious to see is that, I told you I've never been a Vitor Petrino fan. I've never been a fan of him, especially like heavyweight, but I think at heavyweight, he might be able to make a little bit of a difference just because with his skills on the ground, and he's already an explosive striker. Now I think Asplund could maybe be a bad matchup for him because he can put the cardio on him, but we haven't seen Asplund fight a wrestler either. So, and Vitor Petrino's got pretty good wrestling. So if Vitor Petrino can get it down to the ground, that's an interesting fight.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that came out in the meantime. Did you see? I know that Antoine kind of mentioned it earlier, but like Muhammad Usman got popped for all the steroids, so he's going to be out for a little bit. Did you see that?
Yeah, I believe it was 2 years that he's going to be out for. So, sucks for Mo Usman, but it's not like anybody's been looking out for him.
I mean, dude, got the greatest leg kick defense. Just act like you get knocked out. Like act like you're like rocked in the head when you get leg kicked, dude. Because it's just confusion. Like, oh, what's going on? Like, he starts. Ooh. All right. Anyway, we got another one here. We got Action Man Chris Curtis. We haven't seen him in a little bit, man. Returning against Miktabek Orabai. This is going to be a 170, yeah.
Yeah, and dude, not even be that guy. Like, dude, Miktabek has a freaking 8-pack, dude. Dude, that dude is a machine. Like,
and then somehow, like fucking Chris Curtis has like a 3-pack, like
it's like a 5-pack.
Yeah,
it's like 5. But yeah, dude, that dude is a machine. Miktabek Orabai, but no, man, I think this is actually a good fight. Chris Curtis can, good takedown defense and good boxing. And, for Miktabek Orabai, good boxing and good wrestling, this could end up being, a showdown on the feet. It could be a nice little scrap, little dogfight.
Yeah, man, I agree. Let's see what else we got here. If anything on here, I don't really see nothing. What is this? Is this Faraz Ziam? Says he'd be, man, I don't give I need to change now. That's all I said. You'd be down to fight. No one cares if you'd be down to fight. Give us the fight news. See if home fights got anything. Did you see Patty, dude? 3 days after the fight, look at his eyes there, dude. Shoo.
Sheesh. It's rough, man.
Dude.
But yeah, that's the
fight game.
That's the life they live. Yeah, that's the life they live, man.
Yeah. Let's see anything else here. Here we go. This is a day ago. My next fight is Merab. UFC guaranteed a rematch with me. I guess that's what it is, man.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. They might try to push it towards later in the year. And for Sean O'Malley's case, I think he wants Jan to win that thing.
Yeah, I would guess so as well. And did you see that Cub Swanson has announced his return, UFC 327 in April, dude? He hasn't fought since December 2024, so it's been over a year, dude, since he's fought.
It's got to be a veteran, right? Like, I mean, I would hope that he's not fighting like some young up and comer, whatever. I would like to fight with him and Dan Ige, maybe, something like that. Or, I wouldn't even be mad, not an OG, but like a Chepe. I think Chepe could.
Dude, what weight class is Harry Hardwick, dude?
Is Harry Hardwick not a heavyweight?
No, Harry Hardwick, like the dude that got his legs kicked off and like fucking did like a front flip. because that'd be a good fight for Cub Swanson. Because Cub Swanson's got some nasty leg kicks, and that'd be a good way to go out, dude.
Dude, I actually saw that clip the other day, and it was like, best. It was like all the knockouts from all the cards, and yeah. It played that dude, and I was dying laughing all over.
Oh shit, that's what it is. Nate the Train, D-Rose. Nate the Train in the UFC.
Oh shit. Okay,
that should be a fun one. That should be a fun one, dude.
See, that's a good scrap. I think appropriate level matchmaking. Both guys are looking to bring it. We know Nate the Train. Is he my favorite guy? Not necessarily, but if there's one thing, I'm not going to doubt the man. He comes to throw down. So that's a Nate Landwehr and Cub Swanson. That's a fun fight.
Indeed, man. Indeed. That's the only thing that I really see here, though, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get to the fights for this weekend?
No. I think that should be. I think that should be it.
All right. So with that being said, let's get into the fights for this weekend. Do you boys a favor, hit that motherfucking thumbs up button if y'all don't mind. Let's get into it, D-Rose. So this upcoming weekend in Sydney, Australia, we have UFC 325 Volkanovski versus Lopes 2. At the Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney, Australia, we have 14 fights to go over. The fights prelims start at 5 p.m. East Coast time. So wherever you are in the world, set yourself accordingly. D-Rose, you get off at 5 or 8 this upcoming weekend?
It'll be 8 this coming weekend.
Oh, gross, man. But you should be able to see the main event still, because in the main event for the featherweight title, we have Alexander the Great Volkanovski taking on Diego Lopes. Co-main event is Dan the Hangman Hooker taking on Benoit Saint-Denis. We have Rafael Fiziev taking on Mauricio Hufi. We have Ty Bam Bam Tuivasa returning, dude, after what, like 2-3 years, taking on Taliesin Teixeira. That's the dude that Derek Lewis knocked out last.
Lewis just knocked out.
Yeah, we have probably Australia's hottest prospect right now in Quillan Salkill taking on Jamie Malarkey, dude. That's one that's like Jamie Malarkey is going to look great until he gets snoozed. Anyway, we got Junior Tafa taking on Billy Elikana. In another one where I can't wait to pick against Junior Tafa, we got Cam Ralston taking on Cody Brundage. Wow, what a banger that is, D-Rose. Is it going to be hard for you not to bet Cam Ralston knockout here? Because the dude he's got some power and he's huge, but it's a Cody Brundage fight.
Nope. Not betting it.
That's fair. That's fair. And then this might be if this is the can't miss fight of the night right here. Jacob Malkoun taking on Torres Finney. Going to be a barn burner if you enjoy nothing happening. Anyway, we got Jonathan Mellencalf taking on Oban Elliott, and Con Offley versus Yi Za is the opening fight of the prelims, if you will. But also on the card, D-Rose, we have some road to UFC fights happening. I'm not exactly sure what time these are, if I'm going to be honest. I would like to see Aaron Tao in the UFC. I saw him on the Contender Series. He was fun, but we're not going to go over those, D-Rose, because I don't know anything about them, so I'm not going to act like I do. So we'll start right here at Con Offley versus Yi Za for the first fight of the night. So share this tab instead. And last week I was not able to save my picks. I forgot. So sorry. So let's skip these. What is it? First 4 here, and let's jump right to Con Offley versus Yi Za. I want nothing to do with this fight, D-Rose, if I'm going to be honest. Con Offley is 12-4 overall, 12-4-1 overall. And of his last 5 fights, 3 wins, 2 losses. He did submit Ricardo Hamesh. I lost money on that because I thought Ricardo Hamesh was probably going to knock him out. Anyway, he lost to Muhammad Naimov and to Marin Santos on the Ultimate Fighter finale. He is 32 years old, 5'7", and a 66-inch reach. While Yi Za is coming off the road to UFC. I think he was on there 2 separate times. He did lose to Gabriel Santos, but he did knock out Weston Wilson. But who doesn't knock out Weston Wilson at this point? He is currently a minus, or I guess according to Tapology, minus 210 favorite. as Con Offley is plus 160. I'll get my actual odds up for the next one. 29 years old, 5'7", and a 71-inch reach. I won't be betting this fight, D Rose, but just strictly because I don't think Con Offley's that good, and I know Yiza is a good grappler himself, and he's the better striker on the feet. So when two grapplers get in there, they tend to strike, and I know Yiza is the better striker of the two. So I'm going to give Yiza to win this fight via decision. I will not be betting it, though, and I do not recommend any of you bet that fight either. What about you, D Rose? Which way are you going here, man? Oh, is he frozen? Is he defroze? Oh, man. He's defroze right now. Let's see. I did want to talk about Mo Usman, though. Do you think he can come back at heavyweight once since they're 30 years old? I don't know, man. That's tough because if he's going to be gone for like 2 years, that means 40 when he comes back. That's a little tough. That's a little tough, Antoine. I'm not sure. I love the road to UFC. Nakamura is good, but we can't really look too much into it until we see them actually fight someone in the UFC. That's my opinion on it. So other road to UFC fighters, I don't know. Like you can't really, you don't really know how good they are. So it's kind of hard to put money on them, if you get what I'm saying, because you don't really know the competition that the other opponents have been fighting. Sorry, I'm trying to get D Rose back on here. See what's happening with him. Well, it's Yiza via decision for me. Charles Johnson is frozen. I know he was. There he is. He's coming back. He's coming back. Maybe. Look at someone. Charles Johnson is frozen. Oh my goodness.
Damn, bro.
Oh my
Frozen
goodness.
like Elsa.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But do you guys think Road to UFC serves its purpose? I just don't think, like, the people that win that and come off there, 1 out of every 6 might win a UFC fight. But it's like they've just been, winning they've been winning the road to UFC and then just losing 2 fights in the UFC and then just getting cut. So it's like, man, I can't really look into it that much. Do you think they're better competition on the America regional, even better than yeah, I think the American regional scene is better than the Asia regional scene for sure. All right, D Rose, which way are you going here? I'm going Yiza via decision, but I ain't betting it. What about you, man?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't bet this either. Wouldn't be super confident either way, but I think Con Offley can be taken down, and I think Yiza does have some he's got some takedown ability. He likes to keep it on the feet, but he wants to get it down to the ground for the most part. Let's go Yiza. Man, give me by submission. I'll actually take the submission.
All right. Moving on to the next one. We've got Jonathan Metcalf taking on the Welsh gangster, Oban Elliott. Man, did Oban Elliott have all the hype behind him last fight and then got just let us down when he got just wrestle fucked by the Korean Tyson, Suk Young Ko. So, yeah, man, just a letdown in the last fight, as where Jonathan Metcalf, he's looked all right in his last few fights, these one on the Contender Series, and then against Kevin Jusay, but Kevin Jusay is now cut from the UFC. Jonathan Metcalf is going to be the hometown guy here. He's 8-1 overall, 26 years old, 6 foot, 77-inch reach, while Oban Elliott, the Welsh gangster, is 12-3 overall, 28 years old, 6 foot, and a 72-inch reach. Currently, odds for the fight, Jonathan Metcalf minus 130, Oban Elliott is a plus 110, man. I'm scared to bet Oban Elliott, dude. Because after the last performance. But if I'm going to be honest, Jonathan Metcalf is not going to come out there and just wrestle fuck Oban Elliott like the Suk Young Ko did. I think Oban Elliott's probably the better grappler here. Jonathan Metcalf has a path to victory here just by point fighting, just touch and move. But I think Oban Elliott's going to have the more heavier hands, if you will. So I think I'm going to go with the dog, D Rose. I like Obon Elliott. I think he's a pretty solid fighter. He went from like a minus 600 favorite against Suk Hyung Ko to now being a plus 110. Yeah, give me Obon Elliott to win this fight. Let's go via decision. D Rose, what's your thoughts here, man?
Yeah, I think this is one of those classic kind of like overcorrections on the betting line, just in terms of like you said, where Obon Elliott was at for his last fight to where it is now. You know, the bookies are kind of, you know, overcorrecting that line a little bit, but I can understand why they're a little down. You know, that was a little bit of a disappointing performance from him. You know, considering the fact that, and we know that Suk Hyung Ko does have pretty good wrestling, but man, it was, you know, pretty much Suk Hyung Ko, you know, besides getting the submission, you know, in terms of control and position, like he could pretty much do whatever he wanted to Obon Elliott once the fight hit the ground. Yeah, Mikulev doesn't necessarily have that much, I would say, as far as like, I guess, aggression in the wrestling, but he is pretty slick with the submissions if he is able to get the takedown. You know, I think Mikulev can pose some problems here, man. So I'm going to go Jonathan Mikulev here. I think Obon Elliott is tough. He was able to fend off the submission a couple times last fight. So, you know, Obon Elliott's tough. I'm going to say Mikulev by decision here.
Mikulev by decision. All right, so that's our first different pick of the night, D-Rose. And did you see the good news by Dave? And then he hit us with the psych, you know? Like, I thought Dave was changing his life, coming in here, going to clear things up, and then he hits us with the psych.
Damn, Dave. You know what? He's being Dave. So that's the main thing. Never change, brother.
I'm glad you're here, brother. I'm glad you're here, Dave. So first fight that we're different of the night is Elliott versus Mikulev. All right, D-Rose. Interesting. I really didn't expect you to pick him.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that performance last time from Obon Elliott, it does have me a little gunshot on him.
I get it, dude. I get it. So let's move on to the next one, where we have Jacob Malkoun versus Torres Finney in our barn burner of the night, dude. D-Rose, if I'm gonna be honest, I refuse to watch this fight. I'm not watching this fight. I will bet the over in this fight, and then I will win some money in this fight. Let's see. Currently, odds for the fight are Jacob Malkoun minus 145, Torres Finney plus 125. The over 2.5 is minus 175. The under 2.5 plus 153. I'm not breaking this shit down. Give me Torres Finney via decision because that's what Torres Finney does, man. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I don't really care about this fight. Two wrestlers who are going to go
not even wrestlers, dude. He's going to fucking hold him up against the fence.
Yeah, dude. Torres Finney is going to do. He's going to try and take the path of least resistance. Jacob Malkoun can at least do something. And I think, you know,
no, he can't. He can't either. Like, his only claim to fame ever is knocking Andre Petrovsky out with his hip. Like, and that wasn't even
Whitaker.
Like, that wasn't even his that he didn't even do that, you know.
And training with Robert Whitaker.
Oh yeah, and getting knocked out by Cody Brundage in the first round, right?
Terrible. But yeah, I'm just going to say strength of schedule alone. Give me Jacob Malkoun here. I don't think Torres Finney is going to be that much bigger than Malkoun, where I think Malkoun can do a little something. I'm saying Malkoun by decision, but again, do not care about this fight whatsoever.
Oh, it's probably going to be in the pick champ of the week this week now, man.
Man, if we have enough fights, I would definitely love to throw it out because I don't want any significance on this fight whatsoever. Like I don't want to bet on it. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, man. We should start a new segment. The shout out Ronda Rousey, the DNB fight of the week, the do nothing bitch. Who is going to do the least amount and still win? or they could lose. Who's going to go in there and do absolutely nothing? That could have been Denzel Freeman last week or fucking Figgy. That could have been either one. Just go in there and do absolutely nothing. This one, there's a chance they could both do nothing and still win.
They could have the DNB and they could have the PBF. Because I mean, that's the level of fight this is.
Dude, this shit's gonna suck this weekend. But we have a different pick on it. So moving on to the next one, we got Cam Rowston taking on Cody Brundage, the Battle Giraffe. Cam Rowston, 13-3 overall. Obviously trains out of City Kickboxing. He is 31 years old, 6'3" and a 75-inch reach. And he's a big 6'3". He might even be, 6'4", 6'5", dude. While Cody Brundage, dude, look at his record. Like, look at that. Red, draw. He won one. Draw, red. Like, dude,
No
out of his last 5 fights, he's won one fight, dude, against Julian Marquez. That doesn't mean a whole lot at this point. The Cuban Missile Crisis has ran his run. Yeah, dude, it's Cody Brundage. He's 31 years old, 6 foot, 72-inch reach. I'm going Cam Rowston via knockout, but it's a Cody Brundage fight, so can't wait on him to you know what? I'll let D-Rose tell you. Let's not bet on this fight, D-Rose. Let's tell him why, and who's your pick?
Here's my analysis for this fight. Do not bet on this fight. Because Cody Brundage, if you have him to win by KO, he will lose by KO. If you have him to lose by KO, he'll win by KO. He will find a way to get you. You will bet the under. He'll take it over. If you bet the over, he'll somehow get kneed in the head or elbowed in the back of the head, and then just take it to a no contest, and then you don't even get that either. So, like, you will get no satisfaction out of betting Cody Brundage. Just fear or just anger. You will be dumbfounded after you betted a Cody Brundage fight. It just all the above emotions. You know what, Dave? Kudos to you. If you love burning money, you know what? Just say it. Not even worth it, dude. Not even worth it.
That's D-Rose's favorite fighter. I actually really like Cody. Seems like a really cool. He probably is a really cool guy, but man, his fight IQ is got to be single digits. Like, it just
no. I'd walk the other way.
Would you ever take a picture with him? D-Rose like, no. That's how I felt about Bilal, but there was no line, and he was the champion at that time, which was wild.
No, he wasn't the champ. He was like, I think he was about to fight for the belt. But
okay,
he wasn't the champ fight yet.
Yeah, but I got a picture with like Bilal, and yeah. Oh yeah, D-Rose, what's your pick for this fight? You're like, I'm not picking it.
Rowston round 1 KO.
Okay.
But again,
all right, me and D-Rose are the same on that one. Moving on to the next one, we got Junior Tafa versus Billy Elikana. Son of Susie, Billy Elikana does some work while the juggernaut Junior Tafa wants you to stand in front of him and do nothing. He is down at light heavyweight, which is good for him, but out of his last 5 fights, he is lost 3, won 2 against Parker Porter and Sean Sharif. 6-4 overall, 29 years old, 6'3", 72-inch reach, while Billy Elikana 9-2 overall, and he's game, dude. He's a dog. Rear naked choke against Kevin Christian, a unanimous decision against Ibo Aslan. That does have power, dude. So keep that in mind. He did lose against Bogdan Guskov via guillotine, so he didn't get knocked out by Bogdan, and then he won a couple before the UFC. 30 years old, 6'3", and a 77-inch reach. I will never in my life pick Junior Tafa to do anything good, dude. I think he's ass. Maybe down at middleweight he might be all right, but I don't feel like him or his brother train at all, dude. Maybe they hit pads, and that's it. So give me Billy Elikana round 2 submission once Junior Tafa gets upset that he keeps getting taken down and just gives up from that point on. What about you, man?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like Junior Tafa at this point, because like him getting upset with Walter Walker and like trying to like push him and stuff after the fight. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he starts going like man, what is Zombie Girl? Like trying to do like eye gouging and like like nut shots and stuff like that. Like after a while, like him just go full WWE and just start doing some of the dirtiest stuff to get out from underneath. But yeah, I mean, it's clear as day. Like all they want to do is stand and strike the Tafas, which is cool, but like you shouldn't be in the UFC because if there is a clear weakness, at this level in the UFC, they're going to take advantage of it. And if you don't have any takedown defense or jiu-jitsu to be able to fend off any sort of submissions, people are going to take advantage of that, man. And I think Billy Elicana will do that. I don't even know if he's the best submission guy in the world. I just know that Justin Tafa or Junior Tafa can present those opportunities.
If he has a submission, I'll take it. If he has, look, and he's got one in his last fight. All right. That's all I need to say.
So, yep, exactly. All we needed to see here. Let's go. Billy Elicana round two sub.
Me and D Rose both spot on the same pick in that fight. I wonder what that odds are. Billy Elicana. I got props, D Rose. Billy Elicana via submissions plus 175. Billy Elicana round 2 submission specifically is plus 525. I don't know if it's worth really betting. Yeah, maybe if it was like over plus 1,000, I'd take a shot at. But at round 2 sub specifically, only plus 525. Yeah, Bet Online knows what's up.
Yeah, I would say they're on that line for sure.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next one where we got Quillan Salkeld versus Jamie Malarkey. Quillan Salkeld, the best Australian prospect in my opinion. God damn, -8, minus 900, dog. Quillan Salkeld is 10-1 out of his last 5 fights, undefeated, 5-0. He's 26 years old, 6 foot, and a 75-inch reach. While Jamie Malarkey, on the other hand, is also Australian, but yesterday's Australia, if you will. Big underdog, 18-8 out of his last 5 fights, 3 losses, 2 wins. Lost to Muhammad Naimov, win against John Makdessi, lost to Nasrat Haqparast, lost to Mauricio Hufi, and win against Rolando Bedoya. Yeah, dude, if Jamie Malarkey fights anyone with any kind of punching power, he just gets knocked out, man. He's 31 years old and 6 foot. And Quillan Salkeld, if there's one thing that he definitely has, it is punching power, man. So for me, it's going to be Quillan Salkeld by knockout. I just don't know which round, D Rose. I'm going to let you tell me which round you're going to pick it in. And I'll go the same way.
Yeah, well, for me, I mean, we've seen Salkeld come in and kill a couple of people within his first couple of fights, and I mean, for the last
quick too, quick.
Yeah, for the Haqparast one in general, because the Anshel Jubilee, we can look back and say, hey, Anshel Jubilee, not the best.
Do not redeem. Do not redeem.
Yeah, we know he's not the best of dudes, but yeah, for him to do that against Nasrat Haqparast, who was on a roll like that, and we've seen Haqparast knocked out before, but not flat out like that, to where I'm pretty sure he had to get like stretchered out of the arena. So yeah, Salkeld's putting him out, and Jamie Malarkey. I believe this is supposed to be somebody else that was supposed to fight, and Jamie Malarkey is actually taking this fight on like 2-3 weeks notice. So he's coming in on kind of short notice, getting older, chin's going bad. Not a good matchup for Jamie Malarkey. I mean, I know it's kind of in the region from where he's from, so it's kind of going to be a, he's from Australia. For some reason, I was thinking New Zealand, maybe not Australia, but so yeah, he'll have a good home reception, but this is definitely started up for Quillan Salkeld to get a first round KO.
You think first round? All right.
Yeah,
I'm with you, D-Rose. Round 1 knockout for Quillan Salkeld. Moving on to the next one, we got Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa taking on Taliesin Teixeira. I wish I would have looked up how Tai Tuivasa looked this week before I made a pick on this fight, because still being ranked, well, I guess this is Tapology rankings, number 20. He's still ranked in the heavyweight top 15, I believe, though, at losing 5 in a row, man. 14-8 overall. 32 years old, 6'2", 75-inch reach. this is one where it's like we've seen Derek Lewis knock out this guy, and we know Ty's got that power too, man. We hadn't seen him in a little bit, and is he going to come in here fat as shit, or is he going to come in here and I'm not going to say good shape because Ty's never been in good shape, but is he going to make 265? Because the way I've seen him the past like year or so, dude, he was like he has to be well over 350, dude. Just massive Tai Tuivasa. So if Derek Lewis can do it, I think Tai Tuivasa can do it. And let's go Tai Tuivasa. Round 2 knockout. I think that might be – is that the first dog that I'm picking this week? Or did I already pick one? But anyway, currently Tai Tuivasa plus 295, the dog. Taliesin Teixeira minus 370, the favorite. Give me round 2. Round 2, ED Rose. Which way are you going here, man?
Yeah, this one is it's definitely a tough one to pick because, Tai Tuivasa has lost a lot of fights in a row. If you look at who he's lost to, though, he's literally only lost to the best. Cyril Gane, Sergey Pavlovich, Alexander Volkov. He's only losing to the best guys. And for Taliesin Teixeira, he is I would say dangerous dude, but he is very limited in his game, and he's he's relatively green just in terms of the experience. Now again, Tai Tuivasa hasn't been on the best of streaks, but I don't know if Taliesin Teixeira, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's pretty much like a striker, right? Like he's not necessarily like a takedown guy.
Yeah.
That's he's not necessarily going in there to take you down and doing all that stuff. So, for him being so early on in his career, just in terms of number of fights, I don't know if he necessarily has developed that skill set just yet. I'm actually with you. I was surprised that you went with Tai Tuivasa. I thought this maybe could have been in our pick champ, but I am as well going Tai Tuivasa. I think Tai Tuivasa, even being the sharper striker than Derek Lewis, and he's good in the pocket too. Like Tai Tuivasa is good, like exchanging. He caught Cyril Gane in the exchange. He caught Greg Hardy in the exchange as well after he was hurt. So I think Taliesin Teixeira kind of tried to stand in the pocket and trade. Good googly moogly. I had my other screen open on Tapology, making sure I had the right pick. And dude, I came back to this screen and good googly moogly, dude.
Antoine says over 350, no way. And I pull up this picture. Dude, him at this press conference was so big, dude. Like, yeah. I just seen him, dude. I was like, holy smokes, dude.
That's insane. Yeah, that's rough. But I think
that was like last year, though.
Well, so I will say, I did actually hear Izzy say that I guess he had came and did like a little bit of training down at CKB for a little bit. And that apparently like Tai Tuivasa has came in, and I didn't hear the number in terms of weight, but apparently came in so well that he's not necessarily having to cut weight, but that he's really getting to focus on building more skills. So that kind of makes me a little bit more confident that he, even if he might be cutting a little bit of weight fight day, he's not going to be cutting a whole bunch to make 265. And hopefully that works out for him.
Yeah. So as long as he ain't coming here looking like he looked over the past year, I think he's going to knock out Taliesin Teixeira, and apparently so does D Rose. So me and D Rose agreeing on the dog this week with Tai Tuivasa there. So up next, we got Mauricio Hufi versus Rafael Fiziev. This is going to be a banger, man. This is the fight that truly I'm probably most excited for. Not most excited for on this card, but aside from them, man, these top 3 fights are good ones, dude. I'm excited. And so from about like, what time will this be? Probably like 10 o'clock Saturday. I'm going to be real excited from that point on because I know that these 3 fights are going to end out the night. The only thing is man, Rafael Fiziev, it's almost like when he had an injury, he came back, fought, and then he was talking about going down a weight class, and then comes back real quick again against Ignacio Bahamondes and wins that fight via decision against a big 155er at that. I know you're already going to say that Ignacio Bahamondes and Hoofy had the same fight style here. And while I will say they might have the same body style, I don't think they had the same fight style. Let's just dig into the fight. Rafael Fiziev, 13-4 overall out of his last 5 fights, won 2, lost 3, 32 years old, 5'8", and a 75-inch reach, while Mauricio Hoofy is 12-2 overall, won 4 of his last 5, got taken down and rear naked choked, face cranked by BSD in his last fight. But let's not pretend that, Rafael Fiziev is going to do that. He is 29 years old, 5'11", and a 75-inch reach. And also, D-Rose, Mauricio Hoofy has left the Fighting Nerds, and he now trains in Australia with Volk, I believe. So that as well. So just trying to level up his game. But for me, dude, Mauricio Hoofy is so clean on the feet, and he just looks so pretty when he strikes. But he throws a lot more kicks than I think Rafael Fiziev does. I think this is going to be a banger, a technical fight. Dude, Rafael is only 32, but man, he's taken some damage, man. Those two out of the last 3 of his fights were Justin Gaethje that just battered him up, man. And that wasn't even a year ago, dude. And I'm picking Hoofy to win this fight. Is it via knockout or decision, though, is what I'm having a hard time picking between. So I'm going to let you pick, D-Rose, and I will pick my decision or my fucking knockout after you pick, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a banger of a fight. A great matchup. Between 2 great strikers, and honestly, a matchup that when the fight was announced, I wasn't like anticipating it at all. Like I never thought about putting Hoofy and Fiziev together, but as soon as it was made, I was like, damn, like how was this fight not made before? Like, holy smokes, that's good matchmaking.
Mm-hmm.
I think just in terms of how they match up, that Fiziev has that, that Muay Thai style, where he, he's bouncing around a lot. He can fight at range, or he can kind of fight in close in the pocket as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's better at range. Obviously he, I know you said that, he doesn't really use his kicks that much, but he loves that body kick though. He, he loves standing in that orthodox position and whipping that body kick. It's a very effective weapon that he has. And, for Hoofy, he kind of has that sniper mentality where, he's a good
almost
striker.
like a capoeira style, like
yeah,
he like throws these nice like spinning wheel kicks and shit, like the Bobby Green fight.
Very, very clean, very clean, good striker. Man, I'm not gonna lie though, I am very surprised that you're picking Hoofy because I'm picking Fiziev here, and I'm normally not even the guy that picks Fiziev. But the reason being is that if you actually look back in that, especially in that second Justin Gaethje fight, who was using the wrestling in that fight? And how was he able to get the takedown? He was able to get the takedown off of Justin Gaethje throwing a leg kick, and Fiziev was able to catch that leg kick and basically follow Gaethje down to the ground. And he was able to actually get some pretty decent control in that first round until Gaethje kind of really caught on to it there. But I would say for Hoofy, a guy who's a dynamic striker, but I think Gaethje was able to be effective with Fiziev because he just, didn't necessarily go war Gaethje like he did with Patty, but Gaethje was, much more calculated, but was in Fiziev's face the whole time and was kind of making it hard for him. But if you look back at that Ignacio Bahamondes and Fiziev fight, Fiziev was able to kind of, even with the longer guy, able to keep the range and really made Ignacio Bahamondes work, even being the smaller guy, to kind of get back in range. So Hoofy doesn't throw a lot of combos, so I don't see him throwing more volume than Fiziev, and I think Fiziev has just as much firepower as Hoofy does. So give me Fiziev here. I think it's a slugfest. I think it's probably fight of the night. I think it goes to a decision. I think Fiziev gets done.
That's fair, man. That's fair. I mean, I don't hate it. It's going to be what a fight this is going to be. I think I have to pick the younger, cleaner, or not cleaner, more. Man, these are both such clean fighters, but I would think, I want to say more he has more flashy strikes, and if he lands a few of those, that could win the round, in my opinion. So that's me and D Rose. Co-main event of the evening, we got Dan the Hangman Hooker taking on Benoit Saint Denis. Man, God of War. Man, can you? I don't know if I can ever pick Benoit and feel good about it, because I feel like if he has a staph infection, like all bets are out the window, dude. Like he's got one round in him, or he's got like 3 minutes in him, and that's it, dude. But on the other hand, he's taking on Dan Hooker that if you just look, anytime he's fighting someone that wants to take him down, he just gets taken down. You know, is he able? But if he's able to, there we go. Dan Hooker, 24-13 overall out of his last 5 fights, 3 wins and 2 losses. He is 35 years old, 6 foot and 75-inch reach, while BSD is 16-3. Out of his last 5 fights, 3 wins and 2 losses, 30 years old, 5'11", 73-inch reach. I'm not mad at the Mateusz Gamrot win that Dan Hooker had, because Mateusz Gamrot was getting some takedowns, but Gamrot is also known for just getting the takedown and doing nothing, man. As where when Dan is fighting someone that's going to, try to submit you like Benoit does, you have Arman Saryukin doing it. And didn't he get one other person pretty recently too? No, I don't remember. But anyway, I think Benoit has the finishing instinct and early enough the power, the strength to just get Dan Hooker down, wrap up the neck, and get him out of there. But I don't know if I can do Dan Hooker. I gotta go Dan Hooker. I can't help myself. Dan Hooker via split decision. He does it again. D Rose, which way are you going here? I was almost going to do Benoit sub round 2, but I can't, dude. I don't know if he has staph infection or anything wrong with him. I just can't do it. Is he frozen again? You froze? Defroze again? Man, of course it is. Yeah, I was, man, this is such a tough one to call too. Do I change it back? Do I go Benoit via submission? What does the chat say? What do y'all say? Benoit via submission or Dan via decision? This is tough. This is a tough one. Antoine's really digging the numbered events and should have been 5 rounds. To be honest, I don't know. You think Dan's fights could go in the Hall of Fame? A few of them, maybe. Hey, D Froze is back. What's up, man? I'm having such a hard time here. D Rose, I'm having trouble picking this fight. Now I'm like, Benoit's gonna sub him, but at the same time, I don't fucking know, man. Which way are you going here?
Yeah. So, this is one that I as well have been going back and forth on. Yeah, I do think that, Dan Hooker, he's one of my favorite fighters. And, BSD, he has been making a bit of a comeback in the last few fights. I know he kind of had that Kyle Prepolek fight that, it's kind of like a short notice one, but, he was able to kind of get that under his belt, and he's able to reel off 2 good wins after having 2 pretty, I would say, humiliating losses to Poirier and to Moicano. So for BSD to turn around the way he has, it's great, man. So here's my biggest struggle. I want to pick Dan Hooker so bad.
I know. That's why I fucking picked him, and I just now changed it like the BSD round 2 sub. I don't know, dude. It's such a tough fight.
So here's the thing for me that I don't like is that he mentioned that his nose was broken against Arman.
Oh, he did recently say that, huh?
Yeah.
No, not even the fight. When Arman headbutted him at the fucking weigh-in.
Yeah. Which I heard Arman's interview with Ariel, and then he actually posted the before and after of Dan Hooker, like right before the fight started, and then after the fight, and yeah, Arman was like, no, it was for sure during the fight after I hit him with some elbows on the ground. But if Dan Hooker really has a broken nose, is that going to be good for him to turn around that quickly? Man, I don't know. I'm worried. We still gonna ride with my dog. I'm going Dan Hooker
Yeah,
here. I think he's gonna
straight
go
up.
full war. Man, I picked him by decision, but you know what? Because BSD is tough. Like Poirier had to like put him out with a big shot. I don't know if Dan Hooker, unless he lands a big knee, I don't think he puts him out. BSD's takedown offense is not the best in the world, and I think if Hooker can keep it on the feet, I think it'll be good for him. Man, I just don't know where he's going to be with that damage that he took from that Saryukian fight. But if he shows any semblance of his old self, this is a fight that he should win.
Yeah, man, this is tough fight, dude. Could be a fun one, but that is our fourth different pick, and it was almost like I have to throw another one in there so we don't have Finney versus Malkoon in the big jam this week.
Seriously,
man, got Tat loose one random day, right? He just came back one time and just was covered. Come on, you thing. So, main event of the evening, we've got Alexander, the great Volkanovski, taking on Diego Lopes. Alexander Volkanovski's 27-4 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, though, he has lost 3 of his 5. His only win being over Yair Rodriguez and Diego Lopes 9 months ago, where, man, that was a fight where Diego hit him a few times, and we're like, oh, shit, we got a new champion. But Volk was tough enough to survive. That was 9 months ago, and he's 37 years old, 5'6" and a 71-inch reach. In the meantime, since losing to Volk, Diego Lopes has went on and knocked out Jean Silva at UFC Noche 4 months ago. 27-7 overall, 31 years old, 5'11" and a 72-inch reach. D-Rose, I think this week's the week that he does it. He gets it done this week. We see Volk get actually knocked out this time. Let's go round 3 knockout for Diego Lopes. Don't know why, just feeling it, just on a whim. What are odds for this fight? Hey, are Diego Lopes only plus 122, Alexander Volkanovski minus 142. If you're on Volk, that's a solid Volk line to just fucking smash. But man, Volk's getting up there, dude. And this is the perfect time to for the title to change hands, man. I know the legends have been winning, but man, this is his second crack at him within a year, man. So Diego's got to go now, and if not, then I guess John Silva's next. So I don't know. Diego, round 3 knockout for me. What about you, D-Rose?
Yeah, because the UFC definitely doesn't want it to be Lerone Murphy or Mazar Buliev, so they're going to try to find anybody they can to fight as long as it's not either of them two. But banger of a fight, and I don't want to have any criticisms of this fight, but I just,
it was unwarranted. And me as a huge Diego fan, I can acknowledge that 100%. He didn't deserve this fight right away. I mean, I guess in theory he did, but I wish Volk maybe would have fought someone else in the meantime, like Diego fought Sean Silva.
Yeah, absolutely. And that and as well, like almost kind of has like a little bit of that Merab Sean O'Malley type of vibe where, and I mentioned, multiple times before that fight, like we didn't need to see Sean O'Malley in an immediate rematch because now it's got him in this awkward position where, there's not going to be a third fight warranted with Sean and Merab. And if Merab goes and beats Peter Yan, then Sean O'Malley doesn't really have a foot in the race as far as, being able to say that he deserves a title shot next. So I kind of hate that it seems like Diego Lopes just blown his wad just a little bit too quickly. But, I mean, if the UFC is going to be willing to give him a title fight, you don't say no. But I would just like to see him maybe just get one more fight before trying to get the second crack against Volk. I'll just be honest, man. I think Volk wins by decision. I thought the last fight was Diego's best chance to beat Volk. I think the most dangerous Volk is when you go into him with a rematch. I mean, we've seen Volk in these rematches, and I know, obviously the Islam one didn't go well for him, but just in terms of, in his own weight class against Max Holloway and guys like that, he's fared very well for the most part. And, in his weight class outside of Topuria, he's stood there with the best of them. And, he took Diego Lopez's best shots and still stood in there. I think coming in with that being his last fight and knowing a lot about Diego, I think that's enough for Volk to be able to get it done here. I'm going Volk by decision.
That's fair, man. I don't hate it. Yeah, forgot what we did, but it's all right. We're here. Last week we only had 3 different picks for the numbered event, so that only ended up being the 3 that we had, and then one of those fell out, so we ended up tying, going 1-1 this past weekend. So neither one of us has to do sours or the fire beans. I have delivered D-Rose's fire beans and his sours to his house, so he has more than I do. So I'll have to order extra if I end up losing. But D-Rose, we got the numbered event, and it looks like we've got 5 different picks to go over. Are we going to leave all 5 in there, or are we going to narrow it down? We're going to narrow it down to 3.
It is a pay-per-view, man. As much as I don't want to, it is a pay-per-view. So
yeah,
let's leave all 5.
They want you to know if I know D-Rose ain't got no tattoos. He's got one on his on his booty hole. This is a little starfish.
Yep, my little chocolate starfish.
Yeah, the whole chat's going for Volk. I'm the only one. I'm the only one here that's picking Diego. Would you ever eat a real Carolina Reaper? Real California Reaper? Dude, $1 million. Do you know the amount of shit I would do for $1 million, dude? I might regret it the next day, but hey, I got that $1 million today. Like, there's not a lot that I wouldn't do for $1 million, to be honest, Antoine. But D-Rose already replaced them gummies with some troll gummy worms. Nah, they're all,
dude. Get it right.
Yeah, they're all hard, dude. These are like really hard sour candies. So I know he ain't replaced them yet. Dave might suck dick for a minute.
Dude, wow.
All right, dude. So I guess pick champ for this week: Oban Elliott versus Jonathan Melcalf, Torres Finney versus Jacob Malkoon, Mauricio Hufi versus Fiziev, BSD versus Hooker, and Diego versus Volk. I mean, if you win those last 3, dude, you ain't got nothing to worry about, right?
Exactly. So that's a lot of pressure, though. I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. So the DNB fight of the week. Who is going to do the most nothing and win? The do nothing bitch. My submission for the DNB this week is Torres Finney versus Jacob Malkoon. Yeah, I think Torres Finney does nothing and wins, and D Rose thinks Jacob Malkoon does nothing and wins.
Yes. All in all, the PBF of the week.
How do we do this going forward? How do we do this going forward? Do we pick a loser or do we pick a winner?
What?
For the DNB of the week.
I mean, really, it can classify as both. I mean, like you said, especially if it's the whole meaning of doing nothing. I mean, that's it's a pretty wide umbrella, but you would think the loser would do nothing, but there have been times where winners have done nothing as well. Let's go to Hamzat and DDP.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, I guess we'll nail out the details next week. But yeah, with that being said, that's all the picks for UFC 325. If y'all haven't already, do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button for your boys if you don't mind. But yeah, anything before we get out of here, D Rose, or you want to do Change of Cheddar Friday? What are you thinking about Fight Companion Saturday? Just I guess probably not a Fight Companion because you're going to be I guess you'll be off by the pay-per-view. Just let me know, man. Just let me know what you want to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't anticipate it being like super busy because apparently we're supposed to be getting more snow this weekend.
Oh, so, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to be super busy. So I'll probably have time to watch the fights and yeah. Well, I guess we could, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do a Fight Companion, but we'll talk about it.
All right, sounds good. Card 1 to 10, I give it a solid 8.5. I don't hate it. Y'all stay black. I'll try, Dave. I say
it don't
7. Really work for me, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say 7.5 for the card. 7.5.
That's fair. And then Anton wants to know how long you've been growing your beard.
Man, I don't know. I'm just kind of winging it at this moment. I never actually gave my beard full chance to grow, so y'all probably see me looking over, and I'm kind of like just slowly, kind of grazily scratching it because I don't want to sit here and just keep digging at it. But yeah, that's kind of been my biggest thing is just not getting too crazy on it, trying to dig at it. But yeah, we trying to let it grow a little bit at least. So at least give me some definition here.
That's fair, man. All right. Well, D-Rose does not work on Sundays. That's for football, right?
No, sir. Yes, sir. No Sundays.
All right. All right, y'all. Well, with that being said, we will catch you guys maybe Friday, maybe Saturday, or change your head Friday or no?
I'm down.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll see you guys Friday. And if not, then we'll see you Saturday for the fight opinion. With that being said, appreciate y'all stopping by. We'll catch you guys later on in the week. Tuna can and Cowtail out. Peace.